Is A.J. Brown really better than CeeDee Lamb?
No.
Nah.
It's different. They're different.
They're different. But I don't think he's better. And I don't know that the Eagles have this far and away better receiving core. Like, seems to be the conversation right now. Greg Jennings, the one who broke his leg famously on Madden, on that famous YouTube clip. Greg Jennings with a broken leg. He has a rankings out on the 3013.com of the top 5 wide receiver groups in the NFL. And he runs through them. Number 1, obvious, I think right now for everybody, it's Cincinnati. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, 3 really strong receivers. Number 2 is the Chargers, especially now that they've added Quentin Johnston, the first-round pick. And they've got, Keenan Allen, Jalen Guyton, all those different guys. Number 3 is the Seattle Seahawks, who get boosted with the selection of Jackson Smith and Jigba. Already have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Strong group for sure. Totally understand it. This is where I might start saying, I don't know if these teams definitively have better receiver groups than Dallas. The Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
Tyreek Hill is probably the best of any of the receivers on either team.
Not probably. He
is.
It's not a question.
Jalen Waddle is
very good.
Good.
Yeah.
But
he'd be the second best receiver on the Cowboys.
Yes.
Probably, but I mean, Jalen Waddle plays everything underneath. It's, to me, the most overrated wide receiver of our generation. And I don't know that we've ever had this discussion.
Oh, I thought you were calling Jalen Waddle.
Michael Thomas is the volume.
Yeah.
160 receptions for 1,100 yards does not impress me.
No, I agree. But isn't Waddle different? Like, Waddle's
Waddle's supposed to be a speed guy. Waddle was, I got to look it up now.
A catch-and-go guy.
He averaged 18.1 a catch last year.
No, I know, but I'm saying that Waddle, it's all this like catch and quick run stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of Waddle.
If Michael Gallup was Jalen Waddle, I hope you're trying to make the argument for Cooks over Waddle.
Cooks. It would not be. Okay. I want to see Cooks have a bounce back year, but I think Cooks' consistency is right there in contention with Waddle, and I think definitely the depth behind that. If you talk about Gallup as a third receiver, I think that's better than Cedric Wilson or Braxton Berrios or whoever in Miami.
Waddle just had 75 for 1356 and 8.
Yeah.
At 18 a catch. That's sick.
He catches, he runs. It's great. I'm just saying, I think that
and
Brandon
he can run
Cooks,
past you.
Brandon Cooks can too.
Yeah, there's a, I think there's an advantage. There's a skill in the catch and run, right? There's a skill there, and he utilizes it.
So this is where number 5 is. And to Greg Jennings' credit, he said the Cowboys are certainly in the mix as one of the top receiver groups, but he has above them the Philadelphia Eagles. Do you know who the third receiver is for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Devontae's just 2.
Devontae's 2.
No.
It's Quez Watkins. Michael Gallup, for his flaws and his down year last year, wouldn't we all agree, like, now that you realize it's Quez Watkins, wouldn't we all agree that Michael Gallup's a better player overall than Quez Watkins?
I don't know much about Quez Watkins, so I'll say yes.
He is. I'll tell you right now, Sean.
Okay. So put the 6 in order then.
So because here real quick. Because in today's NFL,
and we're not counting tight ends.
We have to count.
No. This is just the receivers.
Man, in today's NFL, these wide receivers are there's no such thing as a wide receiver. It's a pass catcher.
That's fine. He is ranking it just as the receiver position, especially because he was a receiver. So I think when you look at the receiver position, here's the 6 that you have: Quez Watkins, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb. I think if Gallup bounces back the way we think, I think you could say there is the potential that Dallas might have 3 of the 4.
Put them in order for next year.
CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Brandon Cooks, and then I think it's tight, depending on how Gallup bounces back, between Gallup and Devontae Smith.
You know what I've realized
I'm
about
not
you?
even the biggest Gallup fan.
Do you know what I've realized about you? And
Go ahead.
I think it's actually actually a good thing for the show, because you do have a lot of homers, and we're anti-homer. At least I am. Before you joined this show, you and like a couple groups of other hardcore Dak defenders out there, 2 or 3 I just can't stand, and I hope they never get on a real level of DFW media. I was like, are these guys just smarter,
Yes.
or are they homers? And now that I've gotten you in the flesh, and now that you are in person across from me every day, you are a Dallas Cowboy homer.
What?
You are. So I'm not going to call you a fanboy like Slater. That's very insulting. But you are a Dallas Cowboy homer. You are.
What
You have turned Stephon Gilmore into the reincarnation. Hang on, of Deion Sanders when he's old and near a wheelchair, and now Brandon Cooks is
the second coming. He might as well be John Taylor.
He might as well be John Taylor. Like, you are a homer. I mean, you're a Dak homer for sure.
You know what he is? He also backed himself into a corner without knowing it.
Go ahead.
Why?
You know, the Eagles wide receiver corps carried Jalen Hurts all last year.
Right.
The whole Eagles team.
A.J. Brown's great.
But now they're not that great.
But now they're not that good. The Cowboys are better, so what happens now?
Yeah.
Dak is going to make this is this receiver corps going to carry Dak?
I didn't back myself into a corner at all.
Absolutely did.
No, I didn't.
Absolutely did. Okay, when Dak is a really good year, his best year, I want you to say
Dak's not going to have his best year this year.
And a product by his offense.
Dak's not going to have his best year this year. You've got Pittsburgh Peter Griffin calling the offense. So that's not going to happen. Now, I think definitively.
Do y'all think Bobby on the truckrecord.com text line is
yes.
Do y'all think he's a Cowboys homer?
It's funny because I get lots of comments all the time that say I'm too negative about the Cowboys and that I'm a Cowboys hater.
Look,
my Lord.
Are you saying the Eagles have a better receiver group than the Cowboys?
Man just called Jalen Waddle Michael Thomas.
You cannot say that Michael Gallup is on the level of Devontae Smith.
I'm saying if he bounces back and plays. Devontae Smith is insanely overrated.
Is quite a bit better than Brandon Cooks.
At what?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Playing football. Devontae Smith.
At what?
Eighth in defense-adjusted yards over replacement. 15th in DVOA.
Okay. Read your spreadsheet instead of watching the games.
10th in effective yards. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we just sitting here just going to use our own blind eyes?
I'm listening.
Use your homer eyes on this one?
Yeah.
He was actually better than A.J. Brown last year.
No, he was not.
The numbers show he was. I mean, I don't make him up. Yeah. I don't make them up. I just go by it, okay? I don't make the numbers up. I just use them. Yeah. I use them to punch you in the face.
877-881-1053. I just want y'all to tell me.
Speaking of receivers, which, by the way, Eagles or Cowboys, who has the better receiving core to you? I'm just curious now.
I'll say the Cowboys because I know more about Gallup than Watkins.
Yeah.
I think, to me, AJ and CD is a toss-up.
Eagles, I think, have 2 of the top 3. The Cowboys have number 4 and 5.
No, you're wrong.
The Cowboys have 3 of the top 5, so I'll say they're better.
That's okay, though. Speaking of receivers.
Someone said Bobby's the Derek Harper of the Cowboys.
Wow. Speaking of
Matt Lamore.
Speaking of receivers, has Devontae Adams become like a bit of a malcontent?
I mean, he is on my interview Mount Rushmore in the league.
He'd be really. He's
so good.
He's a great interview. When he talks ball, it is fantastic.
Yeah,
I love hearing him talk about route concepts and how to approach defenses, how to approach his releases.
He went off yesterday.
He did, and he was talking to the Ringer and started talking about some of his reservations for the offensive vision of the Raiders coaching staff. His quote was, "The front office thinks this is the best bet for us right now to put us in a position to be urgent. We don't see eye to eye on what we think is best for us right now." Whew. He said it ultimately all depends on the style of ball that we play. If we play a certain brand of ball, I can get Garoppolo to conform to whatever, but if we use him a certain type of way, then it's going to make it tough for us to maximize who we should be this year. He complained a lot last year, too. There were a lot of instances, and I get it, it was frustrating, but this is a dude who asked for one of the most messy organizations in professional sports.
Well,
he asked for that reality.
Well, he moved there for 2 reasons: childhood team and his best friend.
Yep.
And I would be ticked off too if the best friend's gone in Derek Carr. Just like you move into the neighborhood all y'all made these plans and you're moving closer to the family, and then they pick up and move 3 months later. Devontae's ticked.
Can McAfee complain if ESPN starts controlling things he doesn't want them to control when that's the reality?
No.
He asked for the situation. To me, it's the same thing.
He was his own boss.
Devontae Adams asked for the Mark Davis experience and the Raiders' toxic experience.
And here he is at the same time. He was so happy saying, this proves I am the man. A quarterback doesn't make me. I make me. No one can ever say Aaron Rodgers made you. I can play like dog ass next year, and you can't say it. You can just write in, he didn't need Aaron Rodgers. So that's Devontae, defiant, and an amazing quote with his NFL interviews. All right, there it is, below the belt. Where are the Tolos in terms of saying whether he's a homer or not?
I can't say that one, but Bobby's a bigger homer than, fill in the blank. Huge homer. He just tried to discount a 1,300-yard year from Waddle and tell us Cooks is Jerry Rice. So I'm shocked Bobby isn't in the home run derby. He's such a homer. Every property, let's see, Devontae Smith is the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL.
No.
Others, Devontae's a glorified Michael Gallup. Bobby Homer Simpson. He's a homer about Dak. He's spot on about Gilmore. Let's see. I'm waiting for Bobby to start crying and saying, that's my quarterback, like T.O.
That is my quarterback.
All right. So, little split.
It's my teammate.
Little split there.